What's up guys, Vince Blaze here with Adventure Tennis. I hope you guys are doing well. We are here in Winnipeg. It is the indoor court season because it is winter right now. But we're excited because we get to play some tennis finally. It's been a while since we've played. Today I'm pretty excited because we have some exciting news and I forgot it. All right, so today we're pretty excited because one, we get to play after a few months of not being able to play, but also because we just received these new strings. These are the Tourline Wasabi strings. We had the chance to play with them on the Percept video, so if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely do. But these were generally sent to us, very kindly sent to us by Tourline themselves. So hopefully we'll be making some content about this, maybe a video or a review, I don't know, but stay tuned for that. Shout out to Tourline for sending us these strings. But the main reason why we are here today is to review this racket. This is the Wilson Blade 101 V8. This racket was generously sent to us by Do It Tennis, and I believe it's custom made by them. So I think they're the only ones who are selling it right now. So it's a 101 square inch racket, of course, by the name. It's also a little bit of a lighter racket. I think it comes in at about 290 grams, about 10.23 ounces. So it's pretty unique. I previously have owned the original 98 blade, the one that Tsitsipas plays with. I didn't really like it, to be honest. I sold it to Bob, who then sold it off to another friend. But yeah, obviously it's a very beautiful racket. Absolutely love the colors and everything they've done with this. Some of the things that are really unique with this racket are the fact that they made it a little bit of a thicker beam, which is very interesting because one of the reasons why I didn't like the previous version was because it has a thinner beam. And so I'm assuming this will have a little bit more control, a little easier plow through. So I'm really looking forward to play testing this. This is meant or aimed for a little bit more, I'd say intermediates or maybe like junior players who are transitioning to a bigger, heavier racket. My racket of choice is the E-Zone 100, so it's about 305 grams. It's quite heavier than this. The blades tend to have a little bit of a lighter hoop in my opinion, so it's a little bit of a whippier racket. But overall, I'm looking forward to play testing this out. Let's go give it a try. Let's see if we can get this. Oh yeah, let's go, baby. On camera. Let's do a few serves. All right, haven't served in a while. Let's see how this does. Yeah, the racket head speed, because it's so light, comes through really nicely on serves. Oh yeah, let's go. It's kicking pretty high, eh? Yeah. Let's go! This racket, man. Ah, come on. I am feeling that my swings are going a lot faster than usual because of the lighter weight on the hoop and the racket in general. I'm swinging through them a lot quicker. Oh yeah. Sorry. Overall, it's not too bad of a racket. It's light. I keep missing these balls here because it's super light, and my swing speed is adjusted for the weight of an E-Zone, which I think is like 305. So definitely lighter than what I'm used to. Oh, sorry. I just knocked the ball down. Oh! Oh, fuck! I was like right there. Oh. not too bad overall. Surprised considering it's lightweight. I usually don't like lighter weight rackets, but this one's pretty good. Okay, so surprisingly, I actually really like this racket. As I mentioned in the intro, it has a thicker beam, and so I didn't have any control issues or plow through issues like I did with the 98 version. It is a little bit of a lighter racket, obviously. It's 290 grams. So at the beginning, it was very hard for me to transition. I was flying through the balls. My contact point was way off. I was hitting the balls way into the ceiling. But once I got used to sort of the speed and the way of the racket, I was contacting the ball fairly consistently and getting a good contact point. I noticed that obviously it's a bigger racket, so the sweet spot's a lot bigger. So Bob and I, neither of us had any issues, getting a good contact on the ball. And yeah, just overall, it was a fun racket to play with. Like, I wouldn't be disappointed if someone handed me this racket to play and I had to play this. Say, for example, my racket, the string broke in a tournament and I had to play with it. I wouldn't be disappointed. Obviously, it's geared toward intermediate players. Regardless of what Bob and I would want to think, we're both intermediate players by any means. And so this definitely fits both our games, I'd say. The hoop is a lot lighter than the handle. The balance is a little bit more on the handle side, in my opinion, the way that I feel it at least. And so when I'm serving, it's a lot whippier. I always feel a huge advantage because I can fly through the ball. This racket head speed is very fast on this racket. And it just felt comfortable, to be honest. Like, there's nothing that was really bothering me. We tried some volleys at the net. There was no issues there. Obviously, it's not as heavy, so you have to really place your shots really well. You can't rely as much on the racket's weight in order to sort of control that ball. But overall, I had no issues. Overheads, everything. I think it's just adjusting to obviously the racket head speed and the swing speed and sort of the dynamics that it has due to its lighter weight. In terms of spin, it had huge spin potential. I was getting huge kick serves on Bob. I was hitting about his chin, which is amazing. And this is a 16 by 20 string pattern, so obviously it favors a little bit more spin. Control-wise, I didn't feel like it was as control-oriented, but I have no issues. It wasn't something like the Percept 97 where it's like very pinpoint, but generally, as long as you got a good swing on it, you could get where you wanted to. I felt really comfortable with my backhand because my backhand does have a little bit of a slower swing. I'm not as quick as I am with my forehand at reacting. Power-wise, it's probably the area I'd say it's lacking the most. It's nothing crazy, it's just a little bit, again, you feel it when you're hitting the ball. It's not as heavy as another racket that you might have as much power with, but it kind of makes up for that lack of power thanks to the speed at which you can swing the racket and contact the ball. So I didn't feel any disturbance there. It's super maneuverable. As I mentioned on the serve, I was able to whip for serves, second serves, no issues there. On my backhand, like I said, super maneuverable. I really enjoyed it. It's not too heavy on my backhand, so I really enjoyed that. But overall, I wouldn't complain by any means. I'd recommend if someone's like sort of trying to get into like a more serious tennis and they want a little bit more forgiveness with a bigger head size, I'd say give this a shot, like by any means.
Whippity whip. This is whippity whip. I'm finding the sweet spot really early for a new racket. That's kind of surprising. It's a shank. That's another baseball, wrong sport. Let's see, let's try again. Super light, it's literally a feather in my hand. Mind you, I'm coming from Wilson Pro Staff X. So things literally an anvil compared to this, but hey, I don't mind. Hey. Just out. Still like the feeling of it though. Good pop. Comes off the racket really good. Oh, good depth. Let's go. Oh. Ah.
So, Bob, what did you think of this racket? Yeah, no kidding. What did you think of this racket?
You know what? This racket was crazy. It was super light, of course, but I purposely hit reckless. And with this, I was getting a lot of pop with this. Easy to find a sweet spot. Light, of course, but my shots were going in, surprisingly. And
Very surprising. Just kidding.
I mean, with the 101 head size, good defensive rack because I'm always on the run. This guy always puts me on the run, so this helps me. But two-handed backhand, of course, a little bit more stable. I think it has to do with the beam, Vince, if you want to just kind of elaborate on that.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning in the review portion of this, I think that like they've made this, so they told us they made this racket a little bit thicker on the beam. And so one of the things I didn't like about the original like 98 version or the original blade is that it has very thin beam, which I think makes for better control or something like that. But I hated it because like obviously intermediate players, you need a little bit more plow through, a little bit more control when you're contacting the ball. And this really gives you that. I find like I really enjoyed that of this racket. So this kind of solved the problem that I didn't like about the original blade.
And I don't really hit with a lot of spin, so it definitely suited my flatter shot. At the net, surprisingly stable. Yeah, I didn't really make too much errors there. I felt soft with it when I needed to be. Serves, felt the pop. Like, I mean, I was watching your serve coming at me. I was like, okay, I can't wait till I serve, try it out, right? So
yeah, would you recommend this racket to anyone? Or
absolutely, I would. I'd recommend it to an up-and-coming junior, obviously like an intermediate player, like you said, like ourselves. I would definitely have it in the bag for sure, just to mess with. It'd be a good backup racket for me. I'd definitely use it.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a good neutral racket. You know, if you're like in between rackets, you don't know quite how to like stabilize. You kind of want to like neutralize your palate, you know, when you're like trying lots of coffee or trying lots of different things. You know, I think that it's like a good racket to like get an overall feel of like where your game's lacking kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm getting depth with this. Surprisingly, it sounds good too.
Yeah,
it sounds good. I don't know if we're indoor. Maybe it's attributing to that sound, but
also I put a dampener at the beginning. It sounded like it felt terrible. Like it just felt like the ball was going all over the place. I put a dampener on it. It's very different. So that's maybe my personal taste, but yeah, and it sounds better. Yeah. Yeah, and what do you feel about like because it's supposed to be easier on the arm, right? For like arm like pain and etc. What did you feel about that?
Yeah, with the racket being light, I didn't feel anything on my elbows. Felt good on the swing. Contact felt good. Yeah, when I was hitting my shots, it didn't really put too much strain on my elbow. And you know, I do suffer from a little bit of tennis elbow, but didn't feel it with this racket, so that's good.
I do feel like the racket was taking a little bit maybe of the brute front of like that impact. So if you do have a little bit of arm issues, this isn't necessarily a bad choice either.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're just gonna keep playing with this and check it out some more. All right, so thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Huge shout outs to Do It Tennis for sending us this racket. We're definitely gonna be trying to swap this one in and out of our practice sessions, some of our rallying moving forward. If you guys wanna check this out, we'll put all the links below to the direct website. You guys should definitely check out Do It Tennis as well. If you guys have any questions on the racket, feel free to let us know in the comments. We'll try to answer them as best as we can. I think at the time we're recording this right now, it is on sale for Black Friday, so you might be able to still get a deal. It's like, I think like $87, something like that, USD. So I would definitely check them out. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.